أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلى الله تعالى على حبيبه محمد وآله وسلم. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our segment on Surah Yusuf. Inshallah, today we will cover the 10th Ruku of Surah Yusuf, verses 80 to 93. May Allah grant us the ability to understand the true meanings of the Quran by the grace of His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ameen. With this dua, let's begin the 10th Ruku of Surah Yusuf. Verse 80. So when they despaired of him, they secluded themselves in private consultation. He said, the eldest of them, do you not know that your father has taken upon you a promise by Allah, and before you failed in Yusuf? So never I will leave the land until my father permits me or Allah decides for me, and He is the best of judges. Their previous ruku ended when Prophet Yusuf ﷺ took his younger brother in custody for having the king's bowl in his possession, despite the brothers' requests to take one of them in place of him, because their father would not be happy about that. This verse continues that narrative. The brothers consulted amongst themselves about what to do. The eldest brother reminded them that their father had made a promise to Allah to bring their brother back, and they had failed already before with Prophet Yusuf ﷺ, so he insisted that he would not leave unless he got permission from his father or by way of Allah. Let's go on to verses 81 and 82. Return to your father and say, O our father, indeed your son has stolen, and not we testify, except what we knew, and not we were of the unseen guardians. And ask the city in which we were, and the caravan in which we came, and indeed we are truthful. The eldest brother told the others to return to their father and tell them the whole situation, emphasizing that they could not protect him from unforeseen circumstances. They were, in fact, telling the truth, and he could verify by asking the townfolk and the caravan that they were traveling with. Let's go on to verses 83 and 84. He said, rather, your souls have enticed you to something, so being steadfast is beautiful. Perhaps Allah will bring them to me altogether. Indeed, He who is the all-knowing, the all-wise. And he turned away from them and said, O my sorrow over Yusuf, and became white his eyes from the grief, for he was suppressing. The brothers returned to Prophet Yaqub ﷺ and explained what happened. However, he blamed them for the situation. He then turned to Allah to bring all his sons back to him. His yearning and grief over his dear son, Prophet Yusuf ﷺ, which he had kept suppressed, made him lose his sight. Let's go on to verses 85 and 86. They said, by Allah, you will not cease remembering Yusuf until you become fatally ill or become of those who perish. He said, only I complain of my suffering and my grief to Allah, and I know from Allah what you not know. The brothers exclaimed to their father that he will never forget their brother, Prophet Yusuf ﷺ, not until he gets really sick or until his life term in this world ends. To which their father responded that they didn't know what he knew, and that he didn't cry out to anyone else for his sorrows or troubles, except to Allah. Even though Prophet Yaqub ﷺ had so much pain, he only turned to Allah and nobody else. A stark lesson for those who like to complain to everyone about everything. The best one to turn to in times of distress is Allah, because only Allah can handle the weight of our worries, our sorrows, and our troubles. No need to burden others, who probably already have many burdens of their own. Something to be mindful of. Let's go on to verse 87. O my sons, inquire about Yusuf and his brother, and not despair of relief from Allah. Indeed, no one despairs of relief from Allah except the people, the deniers. Prophet Yaqub ﷺ told his sons to find out their younger brothers and not lose hope in getting relief from Allah, like those who deny Allah. All clouds have a silver lining, and that is Allah. It is important to remember that there is always hope, even in the darkest times. By turning to Allah for relief, we can find the strength to overcome any challenge. Let's go on to verses 88 and 89. So when they entered upon him, they said, O Al-Aziz, has touched us and our family the adversity, and we have come with goods of little value, but give us full measure and be charitable to us. Indeed, Allah rewards the charitable. He said, Do you know what you did with Yusuf and his brother when you were ignorant? So the brothers returned to Prophet Yusuf ﷺ for his help, expressing their sorrows and grief. This time, the brothers were humble in their approach. After listening to their humble request, Prophet Yusuf ﷺ decided to reveal the truth to them about who he really was. He asked them if they remembered how they treated him and his brother in their ignorance. Let's go on to verses 90 and 91. They said, Are you indeed Yusuf? He said, I am Yusuf, and this is my brother. Certainly, Allah has favored us. Indeed, he who is mindful of Allah and is steadfast, then indeed, Allah does not let go waste the reward of those who do good. They said, By Allah, certainly has impacted you Allah over us, and indeed we have been sinners. The brothers were taken aback, asking if he was actually their brother, whom they threw in the depths of the well. To which he replied that he was in fact Prophet Yusuf ﷺ, and that was his brother whom he had taken custody of. Be mindful and steadfast on the path towards Allah. Allah will not let your rewards go to waste. Always be mindful of Allah in all matters to achieve any good thing. People who do good are called al-muhsinin and show mercy to others while remaining humble in their service to them. Their brothers acknowledged their mistakes and realized that they were on the wrong path. They understood that they were not following the path of Allah, which can lead one from the lowest point in life to the highest. This is similar to the journey of Prophet Yusuf ﷺ, who was thrown into the deepest well, but eventually rose to become a powerful ruler, sitting on a high throne. Let's go on to verses 92 and 93. He said, No blame upon you today. May Allah forgive you, and He is the most merciful of the merciful. Take with you my shirt, this one, and cast it over the face of my father. He will regain sight, and bring me your family all together. Prophet Yusuf ﷺ immediately forgave them, which is the sunnah of all the prophets. They do not seek revenge, but instead choose to forgive and leave the matter to Allah's mercy. He gave his shirt to their brothers and told them to present it to their grieving father so he can regain his sight and then return back to him with the whole family. The mention of the shirt of Prophet Yusuf ﷺ is something to ponder over, mentioned 3 times in his story, covering 3 significant accounts in his life. First, the shirt from his youth that was presented to his father, stained with false blood, reflects his naivety as he became the innocent victim of his jealous and deceitful brothers. Yet he patiently endured the depths of the well until he was saved from passing travelers. Then, the shirt from his young adulthood, which the wife of Al-Aziz tore from the back, helped to prove his purity and innocence. It was a test for him, yet he was firm in his faith and overcame temptation by refusing all advances from the woman. Then, the shirt from his old age, which he gave to his brothers, whom he forgave, was a source of healing for his father and reconciliation for them altogether. The shirt, stained with deceit and jealousy, torn apart from temptations, became the source of healing at the end. This is how we progress through life's obstacles. If we stay steadfast on the path towards Allah and patiently endure the difficult times, relying on Allah to help us overcome them, this becomes a source of healing for us and for others. The symbolic shirt of Prophet Yusuf ﷺ provides us with a formula for success if we ponder upon it. This concludes Ruku 10 of Surah Yusuf. Let's briefly go over what we discussed. The brothers of Prophet Yusuf ﷺ had to return to their father and explain to him that their youngest brother was held back in custody for stealing the king's bowl. Their father, Prophet Yaqub ﷺ, was so full of sorrow and grief that he lost his sight. The brothers returned to Prophet Yusuf salam, full of remorse, and explained what happened. Prophet Yusuf salam then told him who he was, forgave them, and told them to go back and return with the family. He gave them his shirt to present to their father to heal his vision. We are given constant reminders from the story of Prophet Yusuf salam about the greatness that one can achieve by staying steadfast in the way of Allah and always relying on Him to help and guide us in every situation, whether good or bad. May Allah grant us the ability to understand the Holy Quran and its true meanings in light of the life and guidance of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ameen. Thank you for joining us for this segment. Until next time. Sadaqallahul Aliyul Azim. Allah speaks the truth, the exalted, the great. Sallallahu ta'ala ala habibihi Muhammadin wa alihi wasallam.